The telemetry readout in Forza is a powerful way to see what's happening as you drive. You can look at it in real time and also while watching a replay. We're going to run through each screen so you know what each one means. As mentioned in the tires and alignment section, you can press up on the directional pad to show the telemetry and cycle through the screens using the left and right buttons. First, we have the general screen, which shows data related to the drivetrain and your inputs. We can see the speed, gear, and RPM. We can even see the horsepower, torque, and boost being made at that moment. On the right, you'll see all of your inputs to the system, including steering angle, clutch, throttle, handbrake, and brakes. I find this screen especially useful when reviewing my replays or understanding other racers' top times and watching their replays from the leaderboard. Next, we have the friction screen. If you have taken the Keys to Speed course, you will recognize this display. Each green circle is a way to represent the friction or grip being generated at a wheel. These will flicker and change as you drive and turn, but the main point is that a bigger circle means that wheel is providing more grip. Push the car too hard and you'll see one or more circles turn red, which means that wheel has lost grip. Here we see the suspension screen. Each white bar graph shows where the car is sitting on each spring. In this screenshot, you can see all are close to the middle. If we hit a big bump where the springs are too soft, you would see one or more bar graphs fill up with white. This would mean the suspension is bottoming out. Similar to the friction circles, we have the body acceleration graph. It uses a dot to show which way and how far the body of the car is leaning. If we could see a readout of this graph after a race, that would be a big help, but it's not as useful in real time. Next, we have the tires and miscellaneous screen, which shows a lot of good information. For each tire, we have the average temperature, pressure, and wear. You can also see the speed and camber for each. The most commonly used points will be temperature, pressure, and camber. The temperature will help you determine if you have the right tire compound, and the pressure represents the real warm pressure in the tire while driving. You can view the camber of the outside wheels when turning to see how close to zero they stay. But since these values change constantly, it's a little easier to use the next screen to tune camber. The heat screen shows the temperature across the tire in 3 sections. We talk about how to interpret these in detail in the lecture on camber. Lastly, we have a damage readout, which will help you when running with simulation damage turned on. If you over-rev, shift without the clutch, or bump into cars, you'll start to see these percentages creep up. It also shows the fuel level for longer races. Now you should have a good understanding of what options and views are available as you go about tuning. If you skipped to this section first, you should have everything you need to understand the earlier discussion on tires and alignment, controlling weight transfer, and enhancing grip. If you already went through the class and still have some questions, feel free to leave a comment below.